my name is Gemma and welcome back to my booktube channel. Today's video I will be discussing all the books that I read in the month of September. I read a total of 14 books in September. One of them I did start on the 30th of August, but I am counting that as a book that I finished in September because I finished it in September. I finished it on the 1st of September. So I'm going to give you just like a rundown of the books that I did read in September, a little, what do you call it, a little synopsis, and yeah, okay, let's get straight into this video. Okay, the book that I started on the 30th of August and finished on the 1st of September was Luca Vitiello by Cora. This is basically 0.5 in the Born in Blood series. It's basically Bound with Honor from Luca's point of view. Luca and Aria are one of my favorite couples in the whole series. So Luca Vitiello is the mob boss of the New York outfit, I think. Was it Chicago? One of them, I can't remember. And but one is from one family, one is from the other, and then they marry. Pretty much their love story. It's a mafia romance. That was the final book in the Cora series that I read. My plan is to do a video on Cora's books. I've read all of them but the standalones. Okay, the next book I read, oh, by the way, the star rating for that was 5, but that was sort of obvious. Next book I read was The Casanova by Tl Swann. This is my third Tl Swann book, and it is the third book in the Miles High Club series. It follows Elliot. I have a really bad memory. It follows Elliot, and it's based in London. And it is a love story between, I think it's Karen, or Claire? I think it's Claire, and Elliot Miles. And it's another office romance. Just like The Stopover, which is book 1 in the series, it is a office romance. That I gave 4 stars. It wasn't my favorite Tl Swann Miles High Club book, but it was good. It was missing a few things that the other ones had, but it was still 4 stars. Now if you hear the bird, I'm going to try and cut out all his noises, but you might hear it. The next book I read in the month of September was Nevermoor, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. That I gave 4 stars. It's a, how to say it? It's a middle grade, like fantasy type book where she is a cursed child, but she's not actually a cursed child. I think she's like 12, and she, on her 12th birthday, I think, or her 11th birthday, she's meant to die. But instead she goes to a new world and things happen. I'm not going to try and spoil anything for you. The next book I read in September was The Wundersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow. So it's the second book in the Nevermoor series. This I gave 3 stars. So it wasn't as good as the other one, but it wasn't too bad, and I'm not going to, it was like the next progression onto that. Next book I read in September was Beach Read. This I gave 3 stars. It had hype. It's a romance about 2 authors. It's pretty much a book, it's not really a romance, it's pretty much a book about being stuck and not being able to come up with ideas for what to write. That's pretty much it. It's a cute book, they fall in love, and it's a romance, but it's not really a romance. It's pretty much, writer's block. That's what it's about. Okay, the next book I read this month, or last month, was The Black Flamingo, which is a poem. It's a book of poems. It's by Dean Atta. This I gave 3 stars. To me, I didn't really understand what it was about. Like, I understood the book and I understood what it was trying to get to, but it just had nothing to it. It had no story, it had nothing. I read The Poet-X, which is the same sort of setup, and that had more to it than this did. And the next book I read was Credence by Penelope. This I gave 4 stars. This was my first ever, I think, male, no, it's not. It's not really like a male. Okay, so it's pretty much, I can't remember her name. The heroine, she ends up, both her parents end up dying, or murder-suicide sort of pact type thing, and then she's like 17 at the time, so her uncle, step-uncle, and step-cousin, so they're not really blood related or anything, they invite her to live with her while she becomes of age. And it's about her romance with all 3 of them. It wasn't great. I sort of had my bar set high, just didn't reach it, but it was still 4 stars. I still liked it. It just didn't reach what I thought it would. Next book I read was 365 Days by Blanca. I have no idea. She's Polish. I can't pronounce English words well, let alone Polish ones. This I gave 5 stars. So I watched the movie first, loved the movie. The movie's on Netflix, in case you wanted to know that one. I've watched it a couple of times now, and I love the movie. And then I was like, I'm gonna read this book. After reading it and finishing it, because I devoured it in a day. Like, I still had work, but I read it in the morning, went to work, read it at nighttime, went to bed. That was sort of my day. So yeah, I gave it 5 stars, loved it so much. Really want to read the second book, but the English translation version of it doesn't come out until the 1st of December. And I'm like, waiting. I really want it to come out now, but yes. So I read that this month. I forgot to tell you what it's about. It is another mafia type book. He is a mafia boss, and he kidnaps her because he believes that she is the love of his life. And he gives her 365 days to fall in love with him. And yeah, she does. The book is better than the movie by like a long shot. To me, the book has more... Well, actually, no. The book's not better than the movie, but it has different aspects that I enjoy. Like, it delved deeper into the story, whereas the movie was sort of just like base level. Next book I read was the final book that is out for the Morgan Crow series, which is Hollowpox. I'm using my hands too much. This I gave 3 stars. It was like, there's still more to the book, but the next book's not out yet. Sorry, I'm gonna keep playing with my hair. I got it done today. Okay, next book I read was The Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. Loved it so much, 5 stars. Loved it so much. After I read it, I may have bought the rest of the series because I have no self-control. So yeah, I have no self-control, so I bought the whole series. Next book, I also read that in a day too, by the way. The next book I read was A Lesson in Thorns by Tl Swann. This I gave 2 stars. I was expecting more from it, but I think because it had horror type aspects, and horror is not really my forte, or like spooky aspects, I didn't really enjoy it very much. But my plan is to still read some more of Tl Swann's works. But yeah, A Lesson in Thorns is about... Oh, actually, I should probably tell you what Brutal Prince is about. Brutal Prince is another mafia story. It's a... hate to love sort of story. That's sort of what I'm trying to get at. They don't like each other. They are forced into marriage. It's like a marriage of convenience, so they stop a war. So these two like mafia type families stop warring against each other. So yeah. Then A Lesson in Thorns is about a hex and all this other stuff. I don't really know how else to explain that one. The next book I read was Focused by Cora Sorrentes. That I gave 4 stars. It was my first Cora Sorrentes, I can't say her last name. It was my first book by her and I actually liked it a lot. I loved the family aspect of the 4 girls and their brother who is pretty much their father because both parents suck. Pretty much that's it. But it's her love story with a player. It's a sports romance as well, which I love. I've never actually read a sports romance before. But being my first sports romance, it was sort of light on the sport, so it was good. So it was I think it's football to be honest, but she is like a marketing type person for the team, which her brother is now the coach of. In a previous book, I'm pretty sure he was a player, and now she is doing like a film for Amazon and like organizing it about this one guy who is sort of like friends to lovers type thing, or like haters, friends to lovers type thing. There's a progression there and it makes a sense. Next book I read in September was Mr. Masters by Tl Swann. This I gave 5 stars. It was great. I loved it. It was about an Aussie who goes over to the UK to be a nanny for this family. She believes she's going over to be a nanny for this single mother and her for the 2 girls or 2 kids. I think there's 1 boy, 1 girl. Instead it's Mr. Masters, and it's their love story and it's how they fall in love, and I loved the love story. It was amazing. Perfect progression, perfect everything. And I listened to this on audio and I loved the Australian accent of the woman actually writing, like actually saying, actually like her speaking everything. Yeah. So that was my 4th Tl Swann book, and I'm liking her writing. Like, it's good because I found out she's Australian, so a lot of her books have Australian words and sayings and stuff in it, and I'm loving it so much. It's great because I am Australian, and it's great to see that sort of world in a book, if that makes sense. But Mr. Masters, he is so hot, and his friends, I really want to read their books. The last book I read this month, or September, was Boya by Fiona. This I gave 4 stars. And this was an interesting book. It's like a teacher-student romance. It was quite cute. They have to hide their relationship, but they both have issues in their past, and she has to work at Voyeur, which is like it's not a sex club, but it's like a sex club sort of thing, but there's no prostitution or anything. But I liked the voyeur aspect of it. It was an interesting sort of thing. I loved Fiona Cole's writing. It was nice, different. I'm not sure if I'm in love with her writing, but I do want to read more of her work. Yeah, I loved the way it finished. Yeah, that's all the books I read in the month of September. There was a couple of new authors for me, like Jessica Townsend, which I don't know if I like her books, like her writing. I like her writing, but I don't know if I would read any of her other books. Tl Swann I love so much. I will read everything she's got. Emily Henry, will never pick up another book from her. Dean Attier, the same. Penelope Douglas, I do want to read another one of her books. I want to read Birthday Girl. But yeah, we'll see how that one goes. Blanca, whatever her last name is, I really want to finish that series when I can. Sophie Lark, I want to read the rest of her series. Fiona Cole I will try out, and Cara Sorrento I will also try out more of her work, and same, I will try one more book from Sierra Simone as well. And I do want to finish reading all of Cora Riley's backlist. But yeah, that is sort of my like wrap up for the month of September. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!